So this is how the mob farm and the XP farm would look at the end. Also, you can make it into a material farm. But before we get into how to build the mob farm and the XP farm, there are 3 mods are used in this, and you will find the links for them in the description. You have Industrial Forging, Ender.io, and Extra Utilities too. Now let's build it. So I'm gonna divide it into 3 bars, actually 4 bars. Now the first part is killing the mobs. So you will need an item called a mob crusher. What a mob crusher does is it deals 350 damage to mobs in its range. And the normal range for a mob crusher is 1/3, but you can increase that range by a range add-on. That will make it 12/3. Also, you can give it fortune add-ons, and these fortune add-ons will basically make it like you're killing this mobs with fortune on your soul. So if I add 3 of these, that's like fortune 3. Now, an item like a mob crusher will need energy, so I prefer an energy source from Ender.io, but you can try to find your own energy source that you like if it works with Industrial Forging. So usually try to have an energy form that is generating through time, like solar panels or wind or stuff like that. Not something that you have to rechange every time. Now that it's hooked up, it will deal 350 damage to all these mobs. The second thing is this build that I built. So I surrounded the 12/12 with glass called dark clear glass. That's from Ender.io. And what this glass does, it blocks light. So if I go in first and I use this item called Drop of Evil and right click any grass, it will turn it into cursed glass. And the idea about the cursed glass, mobs will be summoned in it faster if there's no light. So if I go out and I close all of the holes with the glass, you will start seeing that the light inside is starting to like shrink. And last place is here. Now if I close the range, you will see it's completely dark. The second is completely dark, that means you did it correctly and there's no light inside, and mouse also. I recommend you not to have it around grass, so like it's better to have it around like any other block, because the cursed earth will keep increasing in the space. Okay, next part. So when a mob crusher kills a mob, it will take the XP and turn it into mob essence, and it will take any items and collect it here. So you want to take those items, you will go for the second part, which is an item conduit. An item conduit takes items outside of the mob crusher. I'll hook it up with an item conduit and link it to a chest. It's better if you have like a storage system, but I went with a simple thing like a chest. Okay, so you right click the conduit from the start and make it extract from here, always active, and right click here and insert always active. Now you're done with the item. Now you have the item farm. So now your mobs are giving you items all the time. The next part is the XP, how to make XP from that. So you're gonna get a fluid conduit which takes fluids and hook it up here and put a tank. You don't have to put a tank, you can put it directly to the machines, but I like to use a tank just to understand what I'm doing. So you extract the fluids from here and insert it here and make it always active. Put another fluid conduit right here and put a converter. So this is a fluid converter. Okay, you take fluids from here, extract, insert it here. So a fluid converter will do 2 jobs. Either it will turn mob essence into XP or XP into mob essence. So if I choose here essence bucket or liquid XP, so I choose essence and I choose here XP. Now it's gonna transfer that. I'm gonna put a conduit, another conduit, and put a tank, and right click the conduits and make it extract from here and insert from. Last step, which is one of the best items in Ender.io in my opinion, it's called an XP plus. And an XP plus will take any XP stored in it and it will store it in the plus, like this. And the idea about this item is that you can take any XP and store XP. So let's say you want to go fight an Ender Dragon or have a clan war and you fear about your XP, you can store everything here. Also, you can simply by one click take all the XP, so you don't have to wait or transfer all your XP into like XP bottle, enchant bottle, something like that. No, it's just one click, you take all the XP. XP. Okay. Last part about this. So now, until now, you completely built a mob farm and XP farm. There is also another part which I like to use the same materials from for making an infinite material, an infinite material. So let's talk about it. Okay. So there is an item called a mob duplicator. So what a mob duplicator does, it will it will keep summoning mobs that you give it, that you imprison them in a mob imprisonment tool. But it will use two things. It will use energy, it will also use mob essence. So if I do this, if I give it energy, a mob essence, and I'm gonna use the same mob essence that I'm using here. So it's better if you have like a tank here or something and see where you want to put your stuff. Or you can also make another mob crusher and only hook it to this, so you can make sure you're using that. Okay, now, oh, and also you can put your duplicator inside here, so you don't have to build two mob crushers. But for me, I like to build two mob crushers, you know, it's not really that expensive. Okay, now you want to give both of them an energy. Either you make another energy source or you can hook it up. In Ender.io, it's really cool because you can put two wires at the same time, at the same thing. So I'm gonna put two wires and I'll tell you how we can control these. So now I go right here. That's it. That's so. Now I'm gonna right click my here, right click my conduits and go to one. So this one is the first conduit is the fluid conduit. So I want to insert fluids here and make it active. And then for the energy, I want to insert and make it active. Now let's talk about this. For fluids, I want to make it never active because I don't want, this doesn't take anything. And for an item like this, like a mob catcher, if it doesn't use fluids, it won't do anything. But anyway, and for energy, okay. Also, if you want, you can give it add-ons. So you can give it like a fortune add-on and range add-on, that's up to you. By the way, and also you will have to do the same kind of setup to this mob crusher, kinda, so that it would be easier for you to put the duplicator inside. I'm putting it here also to make for you to be able to see things easier. Now, the duplicator, you can use it in multiple things. So let's say you want to farm mob place or something like that, you can do that. But for me, I want to have an infinite source of materials. So for the first way I like to use is summon an iron golem like this, and use the mob imprisonment tool, take him inside, put him in the duplicate. So okay. Oh, did I make it? Oh, I didn't make it that big enough. It's not big enough for a mob like an iron golem to be summoned in. So if I put this here, give me that, hook that here, hook that here, and give, and right click for it, always active, insert here. Okay, so that will take time until I can get there, so I'm just gonna get the essence from here, click. So now I have essence here. I'll give it item and it will keep spawning. So try to make it into space depending on the mobs you want to use, and it's better to have like it in cover. So like let's say you lost a power, these mobs will keep running around in your house. You don't want to do it. Okay, so here's the good part. Now you're making this iron, infinite source of iron, but also this mob crusher will so this mob crusher will not just do that, it will also keep killing mobs, meaning that it will keep getting mob essence again, so you can rehook this mob essence into your mob duplicator, or you can try to build like a main source of like essence. So maybe put like a tank where you hook all of your mob crusher into it and then give it, so you make sure that you can change things. Also, there is a lot of things you can control, like you can control how fast things go with a fluid conduit. You can also use filters on it and priorities, so it's very useful and you can use it the way you want. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about is the cursed earth and how this works. So on cursed earth, the way it works is whenever a place is cursed and there is no source of light, mobs will be summoned in it. But that's normally how Minecraft works. But in a cursed earth, mobs will be summoned in it in an excellent way. Also, a cursed earth doesn't care about what kind of mobs it's gonna summon. So meaning, some mobs only can be summoned in specific areas. A cursed earth doesn't care about that. If a mob can be summoned in the game, it will be summoned. So let's talk about an example. Like, let's say you have an undertaker or like a mutant mob. Those mobs are very useful and they don't get summoned anywhere, but get summoned somewhere. They will be summoned in a cursed earth. But talk about a mob like a wither or ender dragon. These mobs you cannot summon them. You have to use a ritual, or like you have to make this like a wither totem or anything to summon him. So you have to use materials to summon him. Something has to be summoned to use them. You won't be summoned by a cursed earth, but any other mob will be summoned normally by the cursed earth, and it will be very fast. Okay, I think when you put your mob crusher, try to do it, so you'll have to do the same idea again. So you'll have to get an item conduit, for example, a chest, and hook it up again. So you can do the same thing, or put your mob duplicator inside it. It wouldn't matter, because you can put the block of the duplicator on the ground. Like you put a hole and put it on the ground, and around it is the cursed earth. It's up to you, and it's up to you how you wanna make it look like. So like if I put a chest, I'm just gonna repeat the same step. Always activate, and from here extract all. That's same. There's a lot of mobs that you can do the same idea, and also you might feel that this is a bit slow. You can increase that. You can put an upgrade which can increase the speed. So there's a lot of upgrades in Ender.io. I didn't want to use all of the upgrades, because using this simple formula, using this, I think you might feel a bit complicated, but it's not really. If you understood these mods a bit, you will be able to do everything. And without using like an add-ons for speed or stuff like that, you're good to go. You can do all of these, it wouldn't be a problem. And that's it. That's how you build a mob farm, an XP farm, and a material farm, an infinite material farm for everything.